Ron Blum talking it over with his crew.
Holding, 88 offense, 10 yards, repeat second down.
Jackie Harris, the tight end, caught for the hold.
Jackie Harris is one of the tight ends you talked about earlier, and he's on the right-hand side of your screen. Now look at this hold. Now Jackie Harris goes back inside. Fredrickson goes up inside of him. And the only thing I can see is that arm around his waist. That's holding.
Yeah, that's a pretty good indication.
That's holding. Yeah, you're out in space. You're going to get cut. That's holding.
That's a giveaway.
Cunningham wants a screen. Harris. Chavis, nice play. Monday Night Countdown tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern. Mike Tirico and the gang review Sunday's top stories and preview the Monday night matchup. Then at 9, it's ABC's Monday Night Football with the Tuna Helper Bowl. The New England Patriots battle the New York Jets. Al Groh and Bill Belichick. Looks like we might get a little rain here, doesn't it?
It's coming from the behind where the Cowboys are. Moving right to left on your screen if it gets here.
Cunningham has room to run if he wants. Pulls up and throws. Jackie Harris to the 16.
I'll tell you, this play was designed so beautifully. What they did with Randall Cunningham is they rolled him away from Simeon Rice. They've just blocked Warren, who's the back, on that side. He just has to check him a little bit because Cunningham can get outside. Here comes Simeon Rice way outside. Now watch what Warren does, number 42. He steps up and just moves him outside. Here he is. Randall Cunningham back to the outside.
Randall, this is a dash play. What he does is he drops back towards the pocket and then works himself outside, and then you either bring a wide receiver or a tight end into the middle where it's voided.
Emmett is back in at tailback. He'll get the carry. Flag is down as Emmett reached the 14-yard line. Still got those great feet to make those cuts.
Emmett's just one of those backs that I think the more carries he gets and he gets knocked around, the more yards he picks up, the more pounding he takes, the more yards he picks up.
This is a tripping call.
Tripping,
Yeah.
79 offense, 10 yards, repeat first down.
Eric Williams, who will do anything at right tackle to get it done, including that.
Well, when you miss a lot of training camp, your conditioning's a little off, so you got to do what you need to do. Of course, Dave Campo would prefer he doesn't do it quite that way. Aeneas getting the work on. Watch number 79. There goes the foot out on Thompson. Throws the left and right foot out to try and trip him.
Cunningham, good protection again. Thomas, the fullback in the flat, cut down at the 22. A linebacker and a tight end in college taken down by Kwame Lassiter. And we have reached the 2-minute warning officially at 1:57 here in Tempe.
What would happen if an SUV were raised by a family of sports cars?
Zoom, zoom.
Zoom, zoom, zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Yeah, zoom, 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 zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Introducing the 200 horsepower Mazda Tribute. The SUV with the soul of a sports car.
Hey, Steve, throw me a Miller Lite. 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 Toss me the remote. Hey, Peanuts. Oh.
Grab the unbreakable plastic bottle from Miller Lite.
I'm such a klutz.
I'm Dan.
It's Miller time.
I'm okay.
It's seeking out companies with accelerating earnings, for we believe they have the brightest futures. It's hand-selecting the best of those companies, one by one. It's trusting in a process that can deliver solid, long-term results. The American Century Ultra Fund. It's what we call American potential. American Century Investments. Contact us or your investment professional.
On game day, access NFL.com for up-to-the-minute stats and live radio coverage. NFL.com.
Coming up at the half, Chris Berman and the Hyundai Halftime Show, our SportsCenter in-game segment. If you hadn't heard, Bobby Knight has been fired at the end of an era in Bloomington in the fastest 3 minutes in television. All the highlights of the NFL. And, boy, some stunners today.
Well, how about the Oakland Raiders coming back against the Indianapolis Colts? I know that Jim Moore didn't like that.
The Bills won again.
Yeah.
And the Redskins. Did the Redskins win?
No,
the Giants and the Lions, both 2-0.
In that Redskin game, Larry Peccatello, the defensive coordinator of the Detroit Lions, is as good as there is, and it showed up today.
There's Aeneas Williams back in at the corner. 2nd and 16 for Dallas. Shovel pass to Ismail. Can't get outside. McKinnon got a hand on him and held on and waited for help.
I'll tell you, Rob Fredrickson has been all over this field. We saw him make a play on a reverse, and he almost gets the shovel pass. Those eyes. He's ready.
They're linebacker eyes. All those guys have it.
They see it all.
When you get up under a center and you stare at linebackers, every one of them has a pair of eyes like that.
Both teams have 3 timeouts. Clock running down to 1:18. You see the play clock, and Cunningham is going to have to use one of those 3. Randall calls timeout with 1:12 to go in the half.
Just having Aeneas back on the field psychologically makes that defense feel better. And the reason why is because when you have a corner out like he was out, Randall gets to take advantage. You see his numbers, but look at what he's done with McKnight. Nice rhythm, back 5 steps. That was one of his early passes. Now he cuts one loose just to let him know how good his arm is. Perfectly thrown ball. And here's another one with Corey Chavis playing off, which is where Aeneas will be. Randall Cunningham is in a wonderful rhythm getting rid of the football. And you can see the way he's spread it out. 6 to the wide receivers, 2 to the tight ends, 2 to the running backs. It makes the defense play everyone. I think their biggest concern, though, are going to have to be the wide receivers.
Randall Cunningham very satisfied with his position as a backup to Troy Aikman. A few years ago, he would not have been, but he says Troy would be back. He hopes he'll be back soon, and he prays for his health. Cunningham trying to keep the drive alive. Goes Ismail to the 1-foot line. Another strike from Randall Cunningham.
Ismail, when he runs this route, that's Tom Knight, number 22, who is down. But watch this. Here he comes. Lassiter's there. Well, watch where the ball is thrown. Right between the corner and the safety. Perfect.
Watch him set and fire this thing. And this is a rope. Randall Cunningham still can throw the football. He's proving that tonight. And he's in a very comfortable offense for himself.
1st and goal. Play action. Cunningham into the flat. Touchdown. Jackie Harris. Everybody in the house expecting Emmitt Smith to get it. They cross him up, go to Jackie Harris.
And you get down around the goal line and you've got Randall Cunningham in the game, you can't just concern yourself with the tailback. Because if he doesn't throw that, he certainly has the ability to run it in.
Cedar for the point after. (21-10).
You know, you talk so many times about them missing Novacek.
Yep.
That's what Jackie Harris brings to this team. Now watch him. He's going to go in motion. They run a lot of play action. Here's the play action. He's back out on the outside on Tillman. Tillman doesn't have a chance. The ball is perfectly thrown.
Hey, Randall, I mean, when he starts moving, you really have to wonder, is he going to take off and run, or is he going to throw it? In that case, he's wide open.
How effective has he been in his first start? 12 out of 12, 141 yards, 2 touchdowns.
You know, You know, Joe really has a warm spot in his heart for Randall Cunningham. You know that?
And why?
So, because I'm telling you, 1985, when Randall Cunningham came into the league, his second game that he started,
right,
which was his very first victory,
at RFK Stadium,
was against Joe Theismann's team at RFK.
He mentioned that last night. And this might really shock you
guys.
Cunningham within 11 career victories of Troy Aikman. You think of all the success Aikman and the Cowboys have had. And Cunningham actually with more touchdown passes and only one more interception.
Well, you think of the year that he had 2 years ago in Minnesota. That helps it a lot. But he's been called upon to throw the ball. Troy has really been here to manage this offense and have Emmett be the workhorse.
But Troy's numbers are a lot better in the postseason.
Aren't they? Marte Jenkins driven 7 yards deep. He'll keep it there. College Game Day kicks off your football Saturday every week at 11 a.m. Eastern. This week live from the campus at Tennessee. Then at noon, it's the Golden Bears of Cal taking on the Fighting Illini. And at 7:30, a great SEC rivalry as LSU heads to Jordan-Hare Stadium to battle the Auburn Tigers.
Isn't it beautiful? Look at that sky.
Yeah. See how it's getting darker and darker out that way?
We're indoors. Hang in.
It's beautiful because the temperature's down to around 95. Cardinals have all their timeouts left and only 26 seconds left on the clock. Plummer with a slight, pretty pass to Frank Sanders. I think the guy who led the NFC 2 years ago had 89 catches.
And I think Jake Plummer is in his environment right now. This is the type of an offense that he likes to run. Wide open, very quick pace. I thought he's done a nice job all through the first half of taking what the defense has given him. The offensive line trying to do the best they can to block, but this is where he can get out and make plays.
Three-man rush for the Cowboys. Plummer hits his back Thomas Jones, and Jones gets out of bounds with 13 seconds to go.
Well, you know what's really nice about that? They have 13 seconds to go, and Arizona still has 3 timeouts.
When you let Jake Plummer become a freelancer, the ball could go anywhere. He wants to go to the right. The pressure comes inside. The corner falls asleep on the offside of the field, turns around, Jake gets it out to him.
Plummer on the run again. Sanders couldn't hold that one. Good coverage by Felipe Sparks, who they picked up only 2 weeks ago.
I think what you got a chance to do right now, if you're the Cardinals, is you can hit the middle of the football field, but the receiver has to understand as soon as he catches it, he's got to get to the ground and call a timeout. Try not to pick up a lot more yards, because they're going to protect the sidelines, Dallas will.
From here, it would be a 53-yard attempt for Kerry Blanchard, maybe 54, and 54 is his career high. 8 seconds on the clock. Plummer incomplete. Now only 4 seconds left, and they'll have to bring Blanchard on.
You know, I totally agree with you, Joe, because the middle of the field, when they run, if it's a defensive back, if it's a prevent, whatever you want to call it, the middle of the field is always open.
Look, coaches are conscious of what you try and do to use the sidelines to stop the clock, so they sometimes will leave that middle a little more open than they want.
Not only will this be a 54-yard try, it'll be into the wind. Not much, but on a 54-yard try, you don't need much. Didn't bother him a bit. Kerry Blanchard rips one. From 54 yards out, and it had plenty. The end of the first half, the score 21-13 Dallas. Now let's join Chris Berman for SportsCenter in game, the Hyundai halftime show.
All right, Michael and company, thank you very much. Indiana University basketball coach Bobby Knight was fired this afternoon for a, quote, pattern of unacceptable behavior Despite being warned in May and ordered to abide by a, quote, zero-tolerance conduct policy, Knight, according to Indiana University President Miles Brand, became defiant and hostile and shared a continued unwillingness to work within the school guidelines. Brand described the end.
In an early morning telephone conversation with Coach Knight today, I gave him the option of resigning as head basketball coach. He declined, and I notified him that he was being removed as basketball coach, effective immediately.
We completely respect President Brand's decision. We don't necessarily agree with, in fact, we don't agree with it. But you know, as one would expect, we're very disappointed, and but again, we completely respect President Brand's decision.
One of the greatest coaching careers in any sport comes to a tragic end. 29 years at Indiana, 35 years at all when you tack on the 6 years before that at Army. At Indiana alone, 661 and 239, including 3 NCAA championships. His 1976 team that went 32-0, one of the greatest teams in the history of college basketball. Bobby Knight unceremoniously fired today as basketball coach at Indiana University. Week 2 in the National Football League, we had scores of what? 39, 36, 38, 31, 37, 34. One team scored 42, another team scored 41, another team scored 38. Some of the great comebacks that we can remember in recent time. And check out the calendar. It's still summer. It's not even fall yet. The Seattle Seahawks shut out in their first game, trying to do the unthinkable, upset at Husky Stadium on that flubber turf they have, upset the Rams. But Kurt Warner does this every time. Last 2 minutes, sideline pass in a tie game, 34-34 to Torrey Holt. Jeff Wilkins, field goal, 386 yards passing for Warner. Rams avoid the upset, 37-34 in Seattle. 8 straight times they've scored 30 or more points. That's an NFL record. Talk about wild. Jacksonville led 17 points early. Baltimore takes the lead. Mark Brunell's pass tipped into Jimmy Smith's hands, who caught passes for 291 yards. But down 36-32 straight from Tony Banks to Shannon Sharp. The Ravens, undefeated in August, they're still undefeated. They're 2-0, they win 39-36. Raiders at the Colts led 21-0. But with runs like this by Tyrone Wheatley and 3 touchdowns by quarterback Rich Gannon, they take the lead. Colts down 38-31 at the last gasp for Peyton Manning. Manning, who threw for close to 400 yards. Picked off by Torrey James, his second great comeback for their 80. They're 2-0, they win 38-31. Chiefs at the Titans. Titans had Steve McNair hurt. Neil O'Donnell, final minute of the game, touchdown. Yancey Thigpen, overtime. Toss to Jeff Fisher's Titans. Al Del Greco, opening drive, field goal. Titans still have yet to lose at Adelphia. They win 17-14 OT. Giants at the Eagles. Tiki Barber, move after move, 31-yard touchdown. Collins looked great. The defense held Deuce Staley to 11 yards. Giants 2-0, they win 33-18. Redskins at Detroit. Brad Johnson in the fourth quarter picked off not once, picked off not twice, but that Bryant Westbrook pick, followed by Terry Fair. 3 picks in the fourth quarter by the Lions. Lions 2-0, they beat Washington 15-10. Packers at the Bills. Watch Jay Remersma catch this Rob Johnson pass and put the ball around the pylon. He had 2 catches. Bills 2-0, beat the Pack 27-18. Dolphins at the Vikes, a low-scoring game to everyone's surprise. Dante Culpepper, Randy Moss, 15 yards. Vikes, they're 2-0. They beat the Dolphins 13-7. Bears at Bucks. Defense scoring. Sean King to Keyshawn Johnson. Everyone scoring. Shutout Bucks. They beat the Bears 41-0, the biggest win in the history of Tampa Bay. They're 2-0. Falcons at the Broncos. Dan Reeves returns to Mile High. Spoiled by the rookie from Utah, Mike Anderson. 131 yards rushing, 42-14 Denver. Saints and Chargers had the lead, but New Orleans behind Jeff Flake. Under a minute to go to Joe Little Bighorn. 8 yards, touchdown. Saints march in 28-27. Panthers at Niners. Oh boy, Steve Berline to Donald Hayes. George Seifert had his way against his old team. Panthers win at Candlestick 38-22. New stadium opened up in Cincinnati. Same old team. It's Cleveland. Tim Couch to Mark Campbell. The Browns spoiled the Bengals' new stadium opener, winning at Paul Brown Stadium 24-7. Monday Night Countdown with Mike Tirico, Tommy Jackson, Sterling Sharp of the gang, 7:30 Eastern. Tomorrow night, get you set for Monday Night Football on ABC. Tuna Helper Bowl 1. The Patriots at the Jets. That's 9 on ABC's Monday Night Football tomorrow night.
This halftime show is presented by Hyundai. Every Hyundai is backed by America's best warranty with 10 years powertrain coverage.
When we return, Tiger Woods, can he do it in Canada too?
Nothing is better than the freedom.
Every Hyundai comes with the Freedom of America's Best warranty plan. So for the next 10 years, instead of worrying about your car, worry about other things, like the SPF of your sunscreen. The Sonata from Hyundai.
Nothing is better.
Hurry in and get the Sonata with 0.9% APR financing now.
This is Troy Aikman. He donates his time to the United Way by spending time with kids in his community. He takes volunteering seriously.
So far, this has been unacceptable. All right, we're going to go I right jet, scat right, 068 F hook swing. All right? Everybody got that? All right, I'll tell you what we're going to do then. Everybody's going to go along, all right? Except you, Julio, you're blocking.
Very seriously.
Come on, let's quit goofing off. We haven't got to play right all day.
3 contestants, 4 panelists,
Sit down, young man.
an eminent host.
Your 2-minute drill begins now.
Which Yankee shortstop? The only Monday Night Football analyst.
Which tiny point guard had 19?
Which manager was hired and fired 5 times? NFL defenseman has been. Which Houston Rockets forward?
1 very hot seat. 2 of the toughest minutes on television. ESPN's 2-Minute Drill, the ultimate sports quiz show. Premiering tomorrow at 7 p.m. Hosted by Kenny Mayne.
Welcome back to SportsCenter In-Game, the Hyundai Halftime Show with your host, Chris Berman.
Welcome back to SportsCenter In-Game. Halftime, Dallas leads in the desert in Arizona 21-13. Tiger Woods had won the U.S. Open, won the British Open. Could have become the first since Lee Trevino in 1971 to win the U.S., British, and Canadian. This just in, Tiger Woods. He's good. Going head-to-head at Glen Abbey outside of Toronto with Grant Waite. A birdie on 16, 21 under par for the championship. Second shot from fairway bunker on the par 5 closing hole. And are you kidding me? From bunker over water to the fringe. Ends up birdieing 22 under with a 65 on this day to best Grant Waite by 1 shot. Remember, he was even par, so he's 22 under through 54 holes. His 9 wins this year on tour, the most since Sam Snead had 11 in 1950. I think his caddy, Steve Williams, is second now on the money list. U.S. Open, 20-year-old Marat Safin against Grand Slam ace Pete Sampras. But the Russian had 12 aces, the highest clocked at 136 miles an hour. And 6'4", 6'3", 6'3", they're just wild about Safin, the first Russian ever to win the U.S. Open. The Mets have had a losing streak until Al Leiter hurled it home against the Phillies. He hit Scott Rowland looking. Leiter went the route with a 5-hitter, 9 strikeouts, and coupled with the Braves, lost to Montreal. Mets now 2.5 back in the NL East. Yankees go into Boston, and Scott Brocious, who did in Pedro yesterday, does in Pete Shurik early today. In the top of the second, a 2-run shot. Scott supercalifragilisticexpialidocious helps the Yankees beat the Red Sox by the count of 6-2. Both Seattle and Oakland went out west, so Seattle's lead is 2. Cleveland still leads Oakland by 2 in the wild card. Dan Patrick, Rich Eisen after the game. An expanded hour-and-a-half version of SportsCenter. The end of Bobby Knight's days, and of course, our NFL Blitz. Randall Cunningham, a pair of first-half touchdown passes, 21-13, Dallas over Arizona. Second half in a moment.
ESPN's 2-Minute Drill, premiering September 11th.
Have you got the answer?
with front and side airbags, V6 power, and a generous list of features, including the ability to leave it all behind. The Sonata from Hyundai, with the freedom of America's best warranty plan.
Hurry in and get the Sonata with 0.9% APR financing now.
This halftime show was presented by Hyundai. Every Hyundai is backed by America's best warranty with 10 years powertrain coverage.
It's 21-13. Dallas back with the second half in a moment.
When your car breaks down, or you need a battery, or a flat tire changed, or any kind of roadside assistance, call Proto, Washington County's largest locally owned towing company.
Proto is the largest locally owned towing company in Washington County. For over 20 years, we've helped motorists when they need it the most. So if you've got a car problem, we can handle it quickly and without hassle. Proto, we're on the way.
Proto, your towing company in Washington County. We're on the way.
Bob Lamprey here for Beaverton Kia. I've never seen a factory stand behind their product like the new Kia long-haul warranty. It's 10 years or 100,000 miles, parts and labor, and comes on all new Kias, including the new 2001 models, Rio and Spectra. Buy either base model for only $86.47. It's about time new car prices got real again. Just buy Kia. Just buy Bob at Beaverton Kia on Canyon Road in Beaverton.
Need tough tires? We've got them, and they're on sale now at the Les Schwab site.
You talk about championship courage. You talk about a will to win. A flame burns inside that man, Dan Marino.
This ain't a song for the broken-hearted.
When your back is already up against the wall, you can go deep, you can go into the enemy territory and try to steal a victory.
In the desert in Arizona, and if anyone is still Cunningham, they can arrest him for a felony tonight. He's been perfect. And it's 21-13. Dallas on top of Arizona here at the stadium that serves as the home for Arizona State University. Let's take a look at the first half stats. And Cunningham was just sensational throwing the ball, 141 yards. They rushed for only 29. Both teams said they would be committed to the run. The Cardinals less than 50.
I'll tell you, the interesting one is look at the third down conversions for both of these teams. They're 50% for the Cardinals, but 3 out of 4 for Dallas.
Well, Randall's been perfect, but Jake Plummer, I think, has played quite well also, considering that they've limited the offense and really tried to come out and run the football. I think depending upon what happens in this series for the Cowboys and how well Randall and his unit does will dictate whether Arizona Cardinals come out and still try and run the football.
Cunningham has given them everything and more that they could have possibly expected.
Well, when I talked to Jack Riley, he said it was just, and Dave Campo told us yesterday too, he just has to be someplace where he feels comfortable. If he's in an offense where he feels comfortable with the reads, and that's exactly what you get. I think this is a case where it should say to every coach in the National Football League, you don't have to design all these complex formations and all these crazy plays. You just go out and give a guy a basic opportunity to throw the football and ask guys to make plays. This is the results you get.
And how much they'll have to rely on him, nobody knows as yet. No timetable for Troy Aikman's return. Jason Tucker with the opening kickoff of the second half. To the 27, Corey Chavis brought him down.
Number 25, Corey
But that was one of the things going into this football game, Joe. There were really no schemes by the offense or defense. And what they wanted these guys to do is line up and make plays.
Just let them play.
That's
right.
exactly right.
Go out and make play. And Randall certainly has made it. There, 13 consecutive passes.
12 tonight, 1 from last week, and only 1 off the team record set by Steve Pallure, 14 in a row. You would think with Aikman's accuracy, he might be up around 25 at some point, but obviously not. Emmett behind Thomas. Nice cutback. Then had his legs sliced out from under him by Fredrickson.
Oh, Ronald McKinnon, number 57. Hello to Emmett and goodbye to Emmett. Watch his feet. You're going to see number 57, McKinnon, come in right here. And watch this. Goodbye there. Nice move back to the inside and picked up 7 yards on the play.
Emmett, third all-time now, has crossed the 14,000-yard mark for his career. Emmett again. No place to go this time. Fredrickson and Tillman waiting for him at the line of scrimmage. Both of these teams came in off of opening day losses, both in the division. The loser tonight would be 0-2 in the division, and that is a tremendous hole to have to crawl out of.
Well, you know, in the two of them, Dallas, if they go 0-2, they've got a game on Monday night against Washington. And then if you're 0-2 and you're Arizona, you have a bye to have to live through that thing.
On the other hand, if you're Arizona and you win, the bye is a great week. You bet. And 4 of the next 5 games at home. Flag is down. Let's see if Arizona jumped or they were drawn. Michael Wiley.
It's offside Arizona, and that'll give Dallas a first down.
Offside, 95 defense. 5 yards, first down. Number is 96.
Brad Otis. There is Andre Wadsworth. He now estimates that he will be back in the lineup October 1st. Had knee surgery twice since last November. 3rd pick in the 98 draft, and Joe Green can't wait to get him back. Everybody loves Wadsworth. The kid has a great work ethic. And nobody worked harder than Joe Green. Play action by Cunningham. 13 out of 13. LaFleur lost his footing after he made the catch, and Tillman covered him up.
The game plan is really so simple. Run the eye, move the defense in a little bit, get them to bring the safeties up, then run a little play action and get Randall on the perimeters. Now what you do is you dump it off to the tight end. The next thing you're going to see, I think, somewhere in this series, if they can continue to hold the ball, is a play action pass, and they're going to try and get the ball down the field to McKnight or Ismail again.
That's 14 in a row over 2 games for Cunningham. 1 more, and he breaks the team record. Blitz. Good block by Emmett. Cunningham will run. Rush for more yards than any quarterback in NFL history, and there is a flag as he was clearly out of bounds when he was pushed. It looked like Fredrickson.
Well, you know, you don't have a bad play and then compound it with a stupid mistake. Randall Cunningham, we were told yesterday, he said, what are you going to do a little bit different? What did you have done in the past? What different? He said,
no foul in the play. Runner was still in bounds when he was pushed. First down.
All right, now you're going to see if Randall Cunningham was in bounds. Here he goes. Is he being put? He was in bounds
yes,
when he was pushed.
Was.
That is,
good play.
I'll tell you, that's great. The officials can pick it up. There he is. He's in bounds. But Randall said, one thing I'm going to do. I'm going to slide more and quicker, which he didn't do here, and I'm going to get out of bounds faster, which he didn't do here.
Because he realizes that this football team needs him to be healthy because there's really nowhere to go except for young Stern.
From this angle, it looked like the 1 foot was down out of bounds, but clearly it wasn't in the good officiating job.
Timeout.
Cowboys want a timeout. They didn't like the formation against the Cardinal defense that they were seeing. Back in a moment.
Next, please.
Red 79, blue 18, hot, hot.
Maybe something a little darker.
No, serious.
Navy.
A little stress? Bet us online investors aren't helping your blood pressure.
Online? I'm on Wall Street, a professional.
My online broker lets me see stock quotes the same way they see them at the exchange.
You do not see them continuously, not as the market's moving.
Actually, I do. Say ah.
Ah.
That's why Daytech calls it Streamer.
Very well.
Daytech Online. The rules are changing.
What gets us through the lean years? Why do we still hope when greatness has passed us over once again? Because when destiny finally does show up, and she will, we can say, I was here all along. This is why we watch. NFL Sunday Ticket lets you flip through up to 13 channels of NFL football every Sunday on DirecTV. Never miss a moment. Sign up now and also get our best programming package free for 3 months.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of the telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
A couple of years ago, Joe Green thought this club had put together one tremendous defensive line.
The Arizona Cardinals select defensive end Andre Wadsworth.
In addition to Wadsworth, the pass-rushing Simeon Rice, Mark Smith, the defensive tackle, and Eric Swan. A lot of people said this would be the next fearsome foursome, but as it turned out, they played only 4 of a possible 32 games together. Swan is now gone. Wadsworth is hurt. Rice just came back after a contract holdout. Cunningham scrambling. Incomplete, and that breaks the string. Tillman diving, knocked it away.
Boy, this is a nice play by Tillman. You know, it was a great play by Randall Cunningham to get back outside and buy some time. But the safety, Tillman, number 40, just stayed in the area that he was supposed to stay in and made the play.
First incompletion of the night for Randall Cunningham. 2nd and 10. Emmett. Dragging tacklers with him to the 35.
You know what's amazing about Emmett? He sees it all. He sees it all. You know, when you think this guy's getting a little older and his feet, they don't move as well as they should, he sees everything. When he's going through this hole, watch this. Watch his eyes. Well, you're not in the back of his head, but you can feel his eyes. Look at this. He sees it. Got to cut back to the inside. He makes a play back to the inside, and he picks up 9 yards on the play. It's incredible.
46 yards on 10 carries. Chris Warren has a strained neck, so Emmett probably won't get much relief. This time, he's trying for the 2 yards and a first down. He gets close, but looks like he's short. Cowboys continue to lead 21-13.
Really towards the second half when you see him start to feature a runner. Everybody talks about we want to run the football. Well, the time you really want to run it is when you're in a situation like Dallas is and you can control the clock.
You've got a half yard to go here. And they brought the punt team on, and now they're taking them back off again. They're going to get a measurement first just to see how much they have. And with that offensive line that Dallas has, they're inside the 35-yard line. I believe you've got to go.
Well, it looked like Cedar, the place kicker, was coming on the field at one point. It would be about a 52-yard field goal attempt from here. And Dave Campo, 53 years old, who waited so long for his first job as a head coach, now has it with the Cowboys. What will he decide?
This is one of those defining moments for a football team. The Cowboys have been looking for an identity. Chad Henne says, we have to find out who we are. They have to count on those big guys up front, Paul, that you referred to, and say, okay, create a crease. We've got one of the greatest running backs that ever played the game. It's up to those 5 guys up front to create an opportunity.
You want an identity, Michael? You're going to get it right now.
Here's the other
best way to earn it.
If you're Arizona defensively, you better be careful of play action. and getting Randall on the perimeter also.
The single back is Emmitt Smith. 2 tight ends, 2 wideouts. Smith in motion. Cunningham.
First down.
I think the only, well, maybe Dante Culpepper because of his brute strength. But to me, Randall Cunningham runs the quarterback sneak better than anyone. He understands leverage. He's so tall. You see him just hesitate for a second and then bring the ball forward to pick up the yardage. He hurdles everyone. He just leaps right over his offensive guard. Stepnowski does a nice job of creating a little seam at the center position.
Play action. They want a screen. Smith lost his footing, and Rice did a nice job of peeling back to cover Emmitt after he lost his balance.
I'll tell you who did a great job is Randall Cunningham. He's fallen back and still get, I mean, he throws a shot to Emmitt to make the catch. I mean, they lost ground. They lost a little over a yard on the play. But just to get this thing off. Didn't fool anybody, though.
Screens sometimes are the toughest throws because you have to wait. Coach says hold on to it. They don't take into account somebody's bearing down on your neck. Hold on to it. You hold on to it.
Cunningham short set, throws off his back foot. Harris couldn't hold it.
Boy. You know, you've done the beginning about Emmitt. You see Emmitt run with the ball, Emmitt Smith. Then you watch him block, and this is one of the things that they didn't do last week. Emmitt himself said, I'm looking at guys coming from all over. I'm not doing my job, and a couple of my guys sacked the quarterback. But that time, he stepped up and made a great play on the linebacker.
11th play of this drive coming. 3rd and 11. Emmitt is out, and Michael Wiley, number 32, the rookie, in his place. Cunningham to Wiley in the flat. Knocked down at the 27. That'll be 5 yards shy of a first down. Without Chris Warren to go to, Wiley becomes the 3rd down back in the Dallas offense. And now Tim Cedar will come on. Left school in '97 when he got out of Ashland University, a physical education instructor and coach. And Steve Hoffman, the kicking coach, goes out and gets these guys. Cedar out of school since '97. Micah Knorr out of school for 4 years. They always come in and seem to kick beautifully. And Cedar is perfect on the year. Drills that one from 44. Dallas extends its lead to 11 points.
Clearview, Washington is Ford Country. Why do the guys at Fire District 7 drive more Ford Super Duties than any other brand of truck?
Power Stroke.
Power Stroke.
Power Stroke.
V10. Triton V10.
Whether you're driving the 7.3-liter Power Stroke diesel or the 6.8-liter Triton V10, Ford Super Duty still makes one powerful statement.
Ford Country.
Ford trucks, outselling both Dodge and Chevy in Clearview and all over the Northwest.
Can you guess which golfer used Bases Inc. to design his highly available clustered environment using Sun Microsystems technology? A system that adjusts to your needs and almost defies downtime?
Yeah. What? Our site's down? Oh!
He's the one with more tee times than downtime. Basis Inc., a Sun Microsystems Elite Certified reseller. Basis Inc. for uptime in a downtime world.
If you're in the market for an RV, check out Gresham RV Center, your Fleetwood headquarters. Gresham RV will save you money on a new Fleetwood motorhome, travel trailer, or fifth wheel. Shop in Gresham. The selection has never been better. Gresham RV offers you an award-winning service department, factory-trained techs, and a large parts and accessory store. Open 7 days a week. Get the lowest price and the best service on your new Southwind, Tioga, or Wilderness trailer. We're easy to find, just 3.5 miles off I-84 East, exit 16. Gresham RV Center, serving Portland and Vancouver for 20 years.
Check it out, Joe. Back by popular demand. Check it out, Joe. Are they crazy? Once again.
Emmitt Smith has gained 46 yards on the ground tonight. His Cowboys now leading the Cardinals 24-13. 8 minutes and 16 seconds to go, third quarter. Both teams started 0-1. Hard to say it's a critical game in week 2, but they're both division games. Micah Noor to kick. The deep man is Marte Jenkins waiting at the goal line. And the left footer down to the 4. Jenkins hurdles. Makovica lost the ball. Recovered by the Cardinals.
Mark Maddox does a really heads-up job of trailing the play just to be an insurance policy. He starts to go up the field. Maddox is out on the right side. He's thrown his block up the field. Ball gets stripped away from him, and there he is, right behind to make the play. Giving Jake Plummer in this offense an opportunity to do something. They can't afford to go 3 and out, guys.
No, they were on the field for almost 7 minutes.
Their
defense, and they just can't afford to put them back on there again.
Good numbers for Plummer in the first half. Thomas Jones is the running back behind Makovica. Jones with the carry. Cuts it back. Made something out of nothing.
You know, guys, we've talked about how well Randall Cunningham played in the first half. Jake Plummer did some fine things as well. I thought he really played within himself. There's the big throw under pressure to David Boston. Nice patience in the pocket to Thomas Jones. Again, out to the flat real quick to Boston. And then Harding makes an athletic move to the goal line, comes up just a little short, but I think Jake really played well.
Jones, nice straight-ahead blocking and straight-ahead running outside of the 27 for a first down.
Well, Chris Dishman, number 67, until last week's game, really never in the National Football League took a snap, and now he's at center. We had a chance to talk to him yesterday, but watch this, 67. Chad Hennings, number 95. Look at this block. He stays with his block. That is outstanding for a guy that really has never played that position. They said, what do they want you to do this weekend? He said, they haven't told me yet.
Jones again. Nice block by Makovica. Jones to the 33. There was a lot of controversy out here because they cut Mike Devlin just before the season started. He was their only experienced center, with Grudedoria still hurt, the big free agent pickup from the Rams. But Dishman has stepped in. There's Grudedoria. Dishman has stepped in, and he's done a fine job.
Well, Jake Plummer said when he told me that Devlin was gone to center, he said, you got to be kidding me.
Thought it was a joke.
I did. Really thought it was a joke.
2nd and 5 for the Cardinals. Jones again. Tries to get outside. Sparks strung the play out very well. But Jones still with positive yardage.
You know, we talked about the offensive lines being important. Certainly Dallas has the featured names, but this group of guys are finding themselves an identity. Offensive linemen are like in a world by themselves. They hang out together. They do everything together. They keep their hair long if possible. I mean, they're not your normal people by any stretch of the imagination. And they take a lot of pride in that little world right around the ball.
Quarterbacks are normal.
Absolutely.
Plummer to throw. Good protection. Boston can't hold it. Flag is down. Felipe Sparks was right with him. There was pushing and shoving. That ball was underthrown as well.
But you know something? David Boston is really learning how to get the calls. I think that's part of being a receiver. Part of it is if you can't get to the ball, slow down enough, do something with your body that'll force the official to throw the flag.
Pass interference. 20 defense. First down.
They go max protection again. Felipe Sparks, number 20. Now David's looking back. He slows down, and he tries to make a play on the ball, but Sparks just makes the contact. He can't do that. You can't bump into them and throw your hands and flail on them and expect not to get a flag.
I'll tell you, I don't think they would have called anything if he didn't jump into him. If he'd have stayed on the ground and turned around, because he knocked the ball down, but he jumped into him.
It's usually a pretty good clue if you jump into someone.
It's a 44-yard interference penalty. The previous one in the first half was 37, and the Cardinals had to use a timeout. David Boston has to come through with Rob Moore out with the knee.
I can't believe we got the whole family together.
The 5th generation.
Can I get you anything, Grandma? Yes, a Coke, please. I don't think we have any.
What? I'm 101, and this will probably be the last time we get together. We're supposed to have Coca-Cola.
You get away from me. Get away from me.
The duty of a true race fan is to help his driver. He can't eat out there. Basically, I eat for him.
Oh, yeah!
Lap 73, my driver wants ribs. Lap 110, something lighter. Lap 162, time for Rolaids. Extra strength.
New extra strength Rolaids with even more acid neutralizing power to wipe out heartburn fast.
This is for us, man.
New extra strength Rolaids, R-O-L-A-I-D-S, spells relief.
3 contestants, 4 panelists, 1 very hot seat. 2 of the toughest minutes on television. ESPN's 2-Minute Drill, the ultimate sports quiz show, premiering tomorrow at 7 p.m. Hosted by Kenny Mayne.
There's Bill Bidwell, the longtime president of the Cardinals ball club. He knows how important it is, this game and the next few here at home. A stadium vote on a new home comes up November 7th. Plummer to Jones. Dat win right in his face and buried him. Texas A&M's all-time leading tackler.
Dat win back in the ball game. Went out for a little while looking at the knee. Number 59. There he is. Watch him move right on up there to make the play. Just slides, reads his keys. See him fill the hole? He's filled the hole really, really quickly.
2nd and 12 for Plummer. Complete down to the 10-yard line. Again, it's Frank Sanders.
Remember in the when we did the open air, Paul, we talked about Jake having to play flawlessly and do well if this offense was going to be efficient. They wanted to run the football. I think he's done that. And really, when you look at Jake Plummer, 12 for 15 for 144 yards, you know, he's 25 years old. There are 11 quarterbacks in National Football League, 25 years or younger, which really makes up a third of the starters. So we're really starting to see this shift. We've seen the great ones retire. Now the opportunity for the young ones to establish greatness is coming along.
They need 2 for a first down. Jones has it and more inside the 5. Both the Cardinals and the Cowboys have come back at each other tonight.
Well, I think they've run the ball enough to, to make everything work. Now, Matt Joyce is one of the few guys that are in his position. On number 73 on 95 innings. He just takes him to the inside, grabs hold of him, but look at this hole. Joyce is the man that makes that hole.
1st and goal for the Cardinals. Jones. Dat win stood him up at the 3.
One thing that Jones has to learn, on that last play that he ran for the first down, Joe, he started celebrating in the other team's secondary. Yeah, you're a little young.
Don't do that.
No, don't do that, because they're going to label you the next time you come through the hole.
And because of his youth, he's put the ball on the ground one other time. To me, the experience of a Michael Pittman may serve you better when you get this close to the goal line.
Jones already with 55 yards. 2nd and goal. Jones again. Absolutely nothing. That time the Cowboys just collapsed on him.
Don't make the defense mad. That's my point.
Don't make Hennings mad.
Yeah, don't make him mad. Don't dance through there because you picked up a first down and start celebrating.
There goes the ball. Comes in a little tight. We've seen in this game as well as the last game the Cardinals played against the Giants, Thomas Jones and Jake Plummer have been real close to one another, almost running into each other on a few occasions.
Now third down. Plummer. Touchdown! Sanders in the corner.
This is the way Jake Plummer can play football. Vince Tobin has been really waiting to see this more than once. The inside receiver, Frank Sanders, does a nice job, just delays long enough, and you saw him glance out towards the sideline. Watch his head. He breaks, he looks out to see where the sideline is to make sure he's got room and makes the catch.
I'm surprised right here they're not going for two.
I would think you would. You're going to be four.
You got a lot of time left in the game.
Blanchard for the point after. He's got it. Jake Plummer showing the fulfillment of all the promises coming out of Arizona State. The hometown hero making good tonight.
Bigger, better, fresher. Enjoy a Bighorn Blonde beer today at all Ram restaurants and breweries.
It is love. I am a man in love with you.
What is it? It's called a latte. Think of it. Gourmet coffee on every corner. People paying 50 cents a cup. Let's start a company.
Sorry, man.
Ever missed a great opportunity? Here's a chance to redeem yourself. Until September 5th, buy or lease a Lexus for unbelievable values. The Lexus Golden Opportunity. Don't let this one pass you by.
So you're from Seattle, huh?
Yeah. While there, see the new IS at your Lexus dealer.
Can you guess which golfer used Bases Inc. to design his highly available clustered environment using Sun Microsystems technology?
Hello?
Yeah.
What? What? Our site's down? Our site's down? No shipments? Where are the tech guys?
He has more tee times than downtime. Basis Inc., a Sun Microsystems Elite Certified reseller. Basis Inc., for uptime in a downtime world.
Get ready for a magical night when the Ravens fly south to battle the Fins as Miami retires the jersey of superstar quarterback Dan Marino. It's the Ravens versus the Dolphins at 8:30 on ESPN Sunday Night Football. It's football after dark.
Frank Sanders made the touchdown catch to cap an 87-yard drive that took 5 minutes and 42 seconds off the clock. Beautifully engineered by Jake Plummer. And both of you said the Cardinals needed a time-consuming drive to keep their defense off the field, just what the doctor ordered. Jason Tucker from the 10. Tries to reverse his field and is down at the 16. Timeout on the field. We have a 4-point ball game in the desert.
As they come to the line.
Hey, what's happening, B? Nothing. Just chilling, watching the game, having a bud. What's up with... Hey, hold on a second. Hello?
What's that? Yo, hold up. Hello?
So what's up, B? Nothing. Watching the game, having a bud.
How fast can your imagination come to life? In a heartbeat with the new Lexmark C52. True photographic print quality. Rated the #1 inkjet printer by PC World. Lexmark. Passion for printing ideas.
This Friday,
So how long does it take for you guys to get these out of development?
Jamie Foxx is bait.
Looking for a job.
Didn't you rob me a few years ago?
I had a couple of problems.
Bait. Rated R. Catch it this Friday.
It's traveling to more than 1,400 companies worldwide every year. It's knowing unprecedented opportunities exist overseas. It's believing there's no substitute for first-hand knowledge. The American Century International Growth Fund. It's what we call American Discovery. American Century Investments. Contact us or your investment professional.
I was able to play 17 years for the Miami Dolphins. I'm going to miss it.
Dan Marino, Sports Century, the top 50 and beyond. Friday at 8, only on ESPN Classic. To get ESPN Classic, call 1-800-CLASSIC today.
Dan Patrick and Rich Eisen coming up with Sports Center. The top stories they'll be covering: the end of night's days in Bloomington, the NFL Blitz, the plays of the week. The crowd really into it now. More than 60,000 here at Sun Devil Stadium. Cunningham to McKnight. Lost the ball. Cardinals have it. David Barrett, the rookie, pounced on the loose ball.
Number 36, David Barrett, just closes on the ball. Now watch it. He just isn't satisfied with the tackle. He sort of lets him go and then just rips the ball out. The rookie fourth-round pick out of Arkansas just gets his arm and rips the ball right loose.
Dave Campos, successful play, and it ends terribly for the Cowboys.
Now, here's the question. The Cardinals of old would go out and try and go and get a quick one. I think they just come out and pound it.
Pittman trying to get outside, cut back. Dexter Coakley did a nice job. Wouldn't let him have the corner.
Dexter Coakley's got great speed on defense, and when you put him on the outside and keep him on the outside, you're not going to beat him to the sideline.
It's also one of the problems you have when you go two backs and a tight end. Dexter Coakley gets to spend a lot more time closer to the line of scrimmage.
But Campbell's got to be going crazy. You know, just protect the football. You catch it, hold on to it.
Matt Cody comes in as a third wide receiver. Plummer to Boston, flanker screen. Tries to cut it back, got away from his blockers, and nothing but blue shirts waiting on it. Leon led among them.
That's one of those plays where you throw the real quick pass to the outside, stay outside.
Or go
there's nothing but blue shirts inside.
We said the emphasis would be on the running game tonight, and they have run, but look at the quarterbacks. They have been brilliant. Between them, they have 300 yards passing. They've only thrown the ball 35 times, but completed 30.
Just looks like a normal day for Kurt Warner.
Yeah. And no picks. Plummer, screen, Pittman, blockers in front. Tripped over his own man, goes down at the 28. Oh, that was set up beautifully, and they couldn't get much out of it.
That thing had touchdown written all over it. They've got Davis Garrido, number 64, outside. He's going to get an outstanding block. Watch him. Here comes Pittman. Right there, 64, gets a block, but Pittman cuts back inside and stumbles and doesn't get the first down.
Kerry Blanchard, who was already hit from 19 and 54, will try one from 35. Hooked it back inside the post. The Cardinals, with a field goal off the turnover, have cut the lead to 1, 24-23. ESPN Sunday Night Football is brought to you by Daytech Online. The rules of online trading are changing. By DirecTV, never miss a moment. By Coca-Cola, enjoy. By the ridiculously easy-to-use one-control setting systems. And by Rolaids, R-O-L-A-I-D-S, spells relief. Barrett's fumble recovery allowed the Cardinals to get the field goal that pulls them to within 1.
He had a triple. He made the tackle. He stripped the ball and
the recovery. The trifecta for the rookie. And McKnight, who had played so well, coughed that one up.
Isn't it amazing how you said that? The guy made some great catches, a touchdown catch. He's played so well.
As soon as you say it.
Yeah, as soon as you fumble.
Never missed a free throw.
Cunningham replacing the injured Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith without a backup in Chris Warren. It's going to be their show in the fourth quarter.
Well, the other thing, you got to remember, Emmitt did not play a lot during the preseason.
Hardly at all.
I would think conditioning definitely has to be a factor for him. You know, as tough as he is, still has to get tired.
Jason Tucker is deep, and the Cardinals have shown that fake onside kick formation all night long, and it's really messed up the Dallas returns. Tucker will take it 2 yards deep and keep it there. We pay tribute to a legend next week on Sunday Night Football as the Dolphins retire Dan Marino's number 13 and place his name on their roll of honor. We'll cover the entire ceremony at halftime as Miami hosts Baltimore at 8:30 Eastern. Well, that'll be fun. It's going to be an honor to be there for that.
It really is. To see one of the greatest of all time get his due. And for the Cowboys, a guy that has been missing in this offense that I really think they have to find is Jackie Harris. I mean, they talked about this new revamped offense where he was going to be a part of it. Haven't seen him but make one catch tonight for the touchdown.
Emmitt. Lassiter was right there. Emmitt still gets 4. And that will be the end of the third quarter. 24-23. Cowboys over the Cardinals.
NFL Tonight, Tuesday through Saturday on ESPN2.
I'll bust you, buddy.
Cheats. Buddy wins. Excellent.
Lee Dungarees.
Yeah, like I could ever get in that kind of shape. Well, you know what? I can. In fact, that is me. I started using EAS nutritional supplements and followed their simple plan. Combines nutrition and exercise. And 8 weeks later, here I am. Wow, look at me.
Get the EAS advantage.
Now it's your turn.
Tomorrow's headlines tonight. Tony Banks, 5 touchdown passes as the Ravens beat the Jaguars in a come-from-behind effort. Speaking of come from behind, the Raiders did it. 21-0 they were down. They beat Indianapolis. And the Rams, another shootout. They beat the Seahawks 37-34. Welcome back to the desert, everybody. Mike, Paul, and Joe, great to have you with us. Well, what are your impressions of today? What did you see that maybe surprised you?
I think the most important thing is they've been talking about the Ravens' defense. What a great defense the Ravens have. And now they've got an offense. They're going to be a good football
Well, I think we get a chance to see them next week. What I was surprised is the Ram defense last year, I thought, played very well. Got overshadowed by their offense. But so far, they've given up a whole bunch of points. And you have to wonder, when does the bubble burst for this Ram team? And how good are they going to be defensively as the season goes on?
How about this? The Giants and Lions both start 2-0. Emmitt stopped at the 28, 2 yards short of a first down.
And all that money that was spent for the Redskin football team that was going to be the dream team.
They forgot to put some money on the special teams.
Another wacky week.
Always seems to be a couple of shockers in there.
Oh, yeah, you know, Philadelphia, they go crazy last week against Dallas.
Today, nothing.
It's nothing.
course, the Giants defense gets a lot of credit for that, as well as the Giants offense. Third down here. Emmett trying to get it. McCoy hit him, but Emmitt Smith just so strong. Keeps the legs driving and got to the 30. And it is a first down for Dallas.
What you basically have seen on both offenses is that they're able to do exactly what they wanted to in this game. They both have wanted to establish a running game.
The smallest center in football, Mark Stepnoski, 265 pounds, number 53. Watch this block. Just all the way down on Smith, down the line of scrimmage, and that's moving about 70 pounds more than you are down the line.
And then he got a second block. Stepnoski has done it for years. Incredible technique. Cunningham with time. Sidearms it to the Rocket, and Ismail up to the 47-yard line. Cunningham has just looked brilliant.
You know, the one thing I've always liked about Randall Cunningham, Joe, especially, you know, if you give him time, he's going to burn you. But when he sets up the throw, there's just no hesitation. And that ball gets there in a heartbeat.
You know, because he can make quick decisions. Like I said, credit has to go to Jack Riley for putting him in the situations to be able to make throws and make reads like this, their offensive coordinator.
Cunningham is 17 out of 19, 170 yards, 2 scores. Play action. Nobody even near him. He floats it for Ismail. He has it at the 31. Aeneas Williams got there too late. Another perfect strike from Cunningham.
You're only going to know how perfect this pass was because Kwame Lassiter, he just drops this ball over his head. Watch where he drops the ball. There comes Ismail. You're going to see Lassiter come into the picture about now. See 42? But look where he dropped the ball, right over his shoulder.
They went back and looked at films of '98 when he played under Brian Billick. They didn't really study the films last year when he was in Minnesota. 2 years ago, they saw the things he did well.
And Aeneas Williams limped off the field after the play. Cunningham to the end zone, tipped away. Tillman got there. And they were going at the replacement for Aeneas Williams. Corey Chavis was in at the corner.
Yeah, but if you're going to go after the replacement, don't allow him to have some help. Pat Tillman winds up in the middle. This is the first really bad decision I think Randall has made. Tillman's in the middle of the field. He's got a chance to make a play on this ball. It goes right through his hands. Of course, for Pat Tillman, interceptions aren't necessarily his strength. Hitting people are.
Aeneas, who went out in the first half with a bruised wrist, came limping off 2 plays ago. Cardinals come with a blitz. Cunningham goes down untouched and then is covered at the 35.
Simeon Rice is going to get a sack out of this one. What do you think, Paul?
Yeah,
he gets a sack.
It's the easiest one he'll ever have.
They show the blitz. Simeon comes inside. Randall sits down, and Simeon says, hey, a freebie. Gotcha. Tag.
Flozell Adams has done a nice job on him. And Aeneas is back in. 3rd and 13. Cowboys up by 1. 4-man rush. Cunningham running, trying for the six. Knocked out of bounds just short.
Yeah, right.
What a move.
He lied to us.
That's what I'm just...
He lied to us.
Absolutely, Paul. You are so right. Yeah,
hey, he's a player. He's going to go.
Yeah, I'm going to protect myself. Sure you are. Watch this effort. He keeps trying and trying and trying. You're not seeing Randall in 2000. You're seeing him in 1990. The hurdler.
You see the other smart thing he did? He switched the ball from his right hand to his left hand to get it towards the sideline so he wouldn't be able to fumble.
And then he extended it to try to get to the first down.
That was the only smart thing he did. What an effort, though.
No, he didn't make this, but, you know, the question is now, you're only up by 1. You kick the field goal. No.
Oh, boy.
Missed it by a link.
It's going to be too tempting for Dave Campo. Go ahead.
He's going to go for it.
Boy, that was a fast decision. He wants it in there. Cunningham has rushed for more yards, more than 4,800 than any other quarterback in NFL history.
When Jerry Jones hired Dave Campo, he said one of the reasons I chose him as the head coach is because he knows how to handle adversity. He certainly had his share of it last week, and he's not afraid to make the tough decisions or the tough calls.
He had a season's worth last week. Dallas up by 1 point. We're in the fourth quarter. 4th and an inch. And now they're going to delay the play.
The challenge is something.
I think they're challenging the spot.
mark.
Yes, and I agree with them. I think you'll see that this mark is way up from where Randall went out of bounds.
I think that's a good job by Vince Tobin to recognize that. I mean, if you only push him back 2 feet, it makes that 4th down play a lot harder.
Rolling on the field, the forward progress spot.
This is where your guys upstairs in the booth become so important. Watch where he goes out now. He shifts it to his left hand. Now, there's the marker.
You know, he's already out of bounds.
Oh, it's got to be at least a yard back. It's got to be at least a yard back. Watch where he goes out. He's out of bounds. He's out of bounds probably on the I'd say the 22-yard line. I think he's out of bounds on the 22 because he only lands on the 21.
If they move it back that far, how does that affect Dave Campo's decision? Instead of 1/4 of an inch, it's 1/4 of a yard.
I think you kick the field goal.
All right, for everybody online, the play is under review. If you want to cast your vote, log on to ESPN.com or NFL.com. Click ETV. If you think the play should stand as called, hit yes. Say the play should stand as called. It would be 4th and an inch. If you think it should be overturned, hit that. And we'll get those votes in just a second.
And the challenge clock should start.
Play should stand 48%, 52% to overturn it. They are paying attention on their computers.
But the thing about it, if it's not indisputable, Joe, then it stays.
Exactly, and that's a situation we had last week
with the catch.
The ball should be spotted, I think, on the 22-yard line. I think he goes out on the 22-yard line. They give him a lot of forward progress. See, if he keeps the ball in his right hand, then I think maybe it gets spotted up near where the 1st down is.
Those, by the way, were not the official sticks, but they're close. The official sticks are on the near side.
Yeah, but I think he's out on the 22.
The thing about it is,
or further back.
None of those replays, if those are the replays that they're seeing, can overturn this call.
I think
because it doesn't show.
I think it can.
I think it's going to be very difficult to overturn it because you have to have conclusive evidence, and I don't know from that angle you can get it.
I don't. We see the ball just outside of the 21-yard line. There's no way that that ball goes out of bounds near the 21-yard line.
Now, this is a great angle.
You can see it.
You can see the ball. It's got to be back by the 22.
Yeah, if you can draw a line from where he went out of bounds on the last replay we saw, it goes back to the 22-yard line where he crossed the out-of-bounds mark.
The ball, he lands with the ball out of bounds just past the 21.
He's in the air. He's stretching.
That's not an easy call for the referee. He's guessing a little bit.
I don't see him overturning it.
Well, they guessed on the mark as well. They guessed the first time.
Now the audience says 50-50. That's the way we are.
90-second time limit expired. The ruling on the field stands. Arizona is charged with a timeout.
I was right. But
50,
you weren't
50.
wrong.
That's right, 50-50. I think that's I agree with you that it's a difficult spot, but to me, when he lands with the ball almost 5 feet out of bounds and it's just about a yard or about a foot past where they spotted it, I find it hard to fathom that way.
Well, it's back to 4th and an inch to keep the drive alive. Dallas up by 1. He's got it. Quarterback keeper near the 20. That will be a 1st down. Dave Campo wants to go up by 8. He's now got a 1st down just outside the 20. Monday Night Countdown tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern. Mike Tirico and the gang review Sunday's top stories and preview the Monday night matchup. Then at 9, it's ABC's Monday Night Football with the Tuna Helper Bowl. The New England Patriots battle the New York Jets. First down, Dallas. Play action, Cunningham. Under pressure, nice catch by Jackie Harris. Took it off his shoe tops and gained 4. Kwame Lassiter made the tackle. 4 catches for Jackie Harris.
The worst part about that call and trying to get it overturned is now Arizona, they're down to 1 timeout, and they lose that one.
Yeah, but
inside 10 minutes.
I think what Vince Tobin has got himself is you're going to have 1 quarterback, I think, in the league today. Besides Brett Favre, 2 of them possibly. I think Jake Plummer lives for the moments at the end of the game. That's where he's really performed well. He's had problems early in games.
Emmitt Smith bottled up. He'll lose 2. Back to the 16-yard line. Cardinal defense has acquitted itself very well. Keep in mind that is a banged-up defensive line. Corey Sears has had a good ball game from that left defensive end.
You talk about banged up and guys playing. Corey Sears, 94, 61, Tony McCoy. Watch these 2 guys slide to the outside. Look at this play. They're both there in a position to make the play. And Rob Fredrickson, the linebacker. You've got a tackle, and then the linebacker.
Jake Plummer trying to get the crowd back in. A 12th play of this drive coming. 3rd and 6. Cunningham, short set, knocked out his head, caught by Wiley. Holy cow, touchdown!
I think it was Simeon Rice that hits this ball, number 97. He comes in, it is. He hits Randall's arm, the ball goes up in the air.
What presence of mind.
He catches it, gets touchdown.
And when Randall Cunningham pointed to the sky, he may have had the right idea. He got some help on that one.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Cedar to make it an 8-point lead, and does. Dave Campo saw everything go wrong last week in the home opener. Tonight, something is going right for his Cowboys.
Where'd you get this dog? It's just a dog. It's better when she's... No, it's yours. That's what I said. Good get. Thanks.
The Michelin X1. Thanks to Michelin technology, it gives you long mileage and better wet braking than any rain tire. And that should make everyone on a wet road happy.
Buy 4 Michelin tires now and get a free emergency roadside kit. And you'll be eligible to enter the Buy 4 and Score sweepstakes with chances to win a BMW X5 and an iMac computer or other great prizes. See your participating Michelin dealer by October 31st.
To create the most realistic football games means working with the pros. Sometimes that can lead to problems.
Marshall, 1 fumble clip. Just 1.
No, I don't fumble.
Just 1 time.
No.
I mean, just...
I do not fumble.
Fortunately, we're real problem solvers.
Hey, Marshall!
Rated E for everyone.
PlayStation.
Randall Cunningham with as fortunate a touchdown pass as he will ever have. Michael Wiley gets his first as a pro. And Dallas is up by 8.
Oh, Randall's talking to the offensive coordinator saying, we got to put that play in.
Check down.
Yeah, that thing works.
Check down.
Simeon Rice. What else can you do? You hit the quarterback's arms, and the look on Vince Tobin's face. Unreal. What do you have to do to get a break? Marte Jenkins with a running start at the 5. Block on the corner. Jenkins cut down by Noor. great fortune smiles on Dallas. Cunningham to Wiley. Touchdown, Cowboys.
If you're in the market for an RV, check out Gresham RV Center, your Winnebago headquarters. Gresham RV will save you money. We're Oregon's #1 Winnebago dealer. Shop in Gresham RV Center's heated indoor showroom and choose your new Winnebago. Gresham RV offers you an award-winning service department, factory train techs, and a large parts and accessory store, open 7 days a week. Get the lowest price and the best service on your new Winnebago. We're easy to find, just 3.5 miles off I-84 East, exit 16. Gresham RV Center, serving Portland and Vancouver for 20 years.
Need tough tires? We've got them, and they're on sale now at the Les Schwab site.
Bob Lamprey here for Beaverton Kia. I've never seen a factory stand behind their product like the new Kia long-haul warranty. It's 10 years or 100,000 miles, parts and labor, and comes on all new Kias, including the new 2001 models, Rio and Spectra. Buy either base model for only $86.47. It's about time new car prices got real again. Just buy Kia. Just buy Bob at Beaverton Kia on Canyon Road in Beaverton.
3 contestants, 4 panelists, 1 very hot seat, 2 of the toughest minutes on television. ESPN's 2-Minute Drill, the ultimate sports quiz show, premiering tomorrow at 7 p.m., hosted by Kenny Mayne.
The Arizona Cardinals trailing the Cowboys by 8 points. Simeon Rice still describing what happened on that last bizarre touchdown play. Jones, maybe a yard. One of the reasons Jake Plummer was drafted out of Arizona State was his late game heroics. The local fans, this is still a game where you sell tickets. This is the guy that brings excitement.
Well, the thing was, he really didn't have problems at the end of games. As a matter of fact, the problems in early parts of the games created the opportunities for the comebacks in so many different ones. He's played extremely well tonight.
Straight back to throw. Plenty of time. What a catch by Boston. Speared it with one hand.
I want you to see the spot on this one, too, because David Boston switches hands with this ball. Watch this. In and out, makes the catch, gets his feet down. Now look what he does with the ball. Sticks the ball up the field past the first down sticks. And they mark it a yard behind. I think if Arizona had 3 timeouts, they could have challenged them. And we'd have been voting again.
Jones, first down.
You know, this offensive line, you know, watching these guys and coming back in this ball game, the makeshift offensive line, Ethan Brooks, 66, is playing at tackle for Shelton. Matt Joyce and Anthony Clements, the only 2 guys that are mainstays in this offensive line. Dishman and Davis Garrido. I mean, these guys are doing a super job.
And the one thing you have not seen from the Arizona Cardinals is a shotgun formation, because Chris Dishman just hasn't quite got that one down yet.
Cardinals have almost doubled the rushing total from last week, and now they have. The rookie Thomas Jones, 2 yards shy of another first down. Darren Hambrick made the tackle.
Thomas Jones is like all great running backs. I mean, he's just a rookie, but the more they carry the ball, the more familiar they get with it, the better they get as the game goes on. Look at this moves this guy makes. Here comes Jones. Outside, back inside, back outside.
He broke all of Tiki Barber's rushing records at the University of Virginia. Jones again, fighting for extra yardage.
The other thing about him carrying the ball a lot is he gets a little more tired, and he becomes a much more patient runner. I think he hits the holes a little too quick early in the game. He's all jacked up looking for places to go. Now he's a little more tired, and he runs with a little more patience. You're talking about that offensive line, Paul. The starting five of the Cardinals last week averaged 335 pounds, the heaviest in the league. These guys have been leaning on that Cowboy defensive front for a lot tonight.
And they have rushed as a team for 93 yards. 5:43 and counting. Plummer flush. And throws it away. ESPN2 college football next week, beginning at noon Eastern. Maryland at West Virginia. Then at 6, the border war between Indiana and Kentucky. And at 9, Southern Mississippi battles Alabama. Second and 10. The Cardinals need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie. Four-man rush for the Cowboys. Plummer behind Sanders. Can't hold it. Threw it to the end zone, inside, and I think Sanders was expecting it to the outside.
Well, there's a classic case of not being able to practice. Frank Sanders didn't practice much all week because he got nicked up against the Giants last week. This is a timing pass. He's on Ryan McNeil. He bumps into McNeil. By the time he winds up running into McNeil, Jake is throwing the ball where he expects him to be. And you could basically say Frank took one step too many.
Plummer facing a 3rd and 10. Blitz coming. Boston had it knocked away. McNeil, the veteran corner, got a hand on it.
Boy, that was an outstanding play by McNeil. I mean, he played Boston perfectly. And again, it was just ball a little late getting there, but look at McNeil. He knows he's got Boston. He knows the blitz is on, and he's by himself out here.
That's Sanders going to the post.
Inside on Teague.
Kerry Blanchard will come on to try a field goal to cut it to 5.
Well, Michael, you said the last one he kicked at 54 was into the wind. The wind's picked up a little bit. He's got one in his back now.
This from 51 to be 4 for 4 in the game. Kerry Blanchard, one of the best around. A 51-yarder is true. And again, the Cardinals have cut the lead to just 5 points.
Life is not a highlight reel. You've got to watch it unfold. You've got to see all the near misses to truly appreciate the power of someone putting the team on his back and carrying us all over the goal line. This is why we watch. NFL Sunday Ticket lets you flip through up to 13 channels of NFL football every Sunday on DirecTV. Never miss a moment. Sign up now and also get our best programming package free for 3 months.
This dog is just a dog.
No, it's yours.
Good get. Thanks.
Order your limited edition Heineken U.S. Open t-shirt designed by me, John McEnroe.
Imagine a place that understands you'd rather be doing anything on Saturday other than fixing your faucet. A place that knows you can't spend half the weekend shopping for your weekend projects. True Value. For the jobs you do most and look forward to least. Because the sooner you get done, the sooner you can get back to this thing called your life. True Value. Help is just around the corner.
We are in the Arizona desert, and we have had a good one so far tonight. Dallas and Arizona 31-26.
2 weeks in a row, boys.
Absolutely.
We don't get anything but good football games. It's our job.
Jason Tucker on the kickoff return to the 34. ESPN Sunday Night Football is brought to you by 3Com. Home office or beyond. Simple sets you free. By Heineken. It's all about the beer. Heineken. By Lee Dungarees. Buddy Lee tested. Buddy Lee approved. By Sony PlayStation. Live in your world. Play in ours. And by Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires. 3 of the last 4 Cowboy drives have taken over 6 minutes off the clock. They need one more of those.
And remember,
it is really cleared up out here. It's beautiful tonight.
Notice that Arizona only has 1 timeout.
Cunningham all day to throw. Knocked away at the last moment. Ismael Tillman got it, and Ismael wants a flag. Coming up, Dan Patrick and Rich Eisen with SportsCenter. They'll bring you up to date on the top stories of the day. It's all over for Bobby Knight at Indiana, our NFL Blitz, and the plays of the week. Feel very bad for Bob Knight. I thought he got a raw deal on this one.
You know, if it wasn't going to happen now, it might have happened at some other point. I think he really became a target as well.
2nd and 10 for Dallas. Draw play, Emmett. They're waiting on him. Got maybe 2. That'll bring up a big 3rd and 8.
Brad Otis just reaching out, bringing down Emmett by himself. Emmett usually runs through arm tackles. That time Otis just hung on.
Cardinal defense gave up 223 yards rushing a week ago. They have been much steadier tonight. Wiley is the 3rd down back on 3rd and 8. Cunningham airs it out. Just over McKnight's outstretched hands. And Dallas will have to punt.
And that whole series of downs didn't even take a minute. When you need to run some time off the clock.
I don't think they were trying to back it off. I think they were trying to go for it. It's not like he doesn't have them beat. It's just a little bit overthrown. Jack Riley thought maybe he'd catch Arizona's defense trying to be up to stop the run.
Micah Nord to punt to Matt Cody, the 2nd-year man out of Memphis. Only the 2nd punt for Nord. Launches one. Cody all the way back to the 8. And tripped up at the 15. Excellent kick coverage. Chris Brazel got him by the ankle. 56-yard punt, 7-yard return.
Over the past 65 years, Chevy Suburban has come a very long way. Introducing the best Suburban yet. The all-new Chevy Suburban. Like a rock.
There's something for everyone on AT&T Cable Services. Just look what's coming this September.
TNT's got the faces you never forget in the movies you know by heart. TNT's Saturday Night New Classics. Every Saturday night at 8 Eastern and Pacific on TNT.
This September in Sydney, Australia, a new era in Olympics coverage begins when NBC, CNBC, and MSNBC join to bring you the complete Olympics.
Tune in. It's all on AT&T Cable Services.
Sometimes you just have to bail on the whole scene. Pack up the Ford Explorer, fire up the V8, put the all-wheel drive to the test, and just get back to basics.
Hey, nature boy, you're burning the weenie.
Oh! Oh!
Ford Explorer. With $1,500 cash back or $1,000 cash back plus 0-9 financing, you can afford to haul a few luxuries along for the ride.
Little to the left.
Check out the full line of Explorers at your Northwest Ford outfitter.
Yeah.
This is Rich Eisen. Later on SportsCenter, the Bob Knight era is over in Indiana.
Pistol Pete fires blanks at the U.S. Open. And can anybody stop Tiger in Canada? Join me and Dan Patrick for SportsCenter after the game.
This is a danger zone for the Dallas Cowboys. Last year, they lost 5 times when they had a lead in the 4th quarter, the most in team history, and they gave up 116 points, the most they had given up since 1963 in the 4th quarter. And Jake Plummer, it is Plummer time. 11 game-winning drives in the 4th quarter or OT, the most since he came into the league for any quarterback since 1997. Pump fake wide open. Down the sideline, huge gain down to the 23-yard line. Plummer with a strike, 72 yards.
I not only like the execution, but Mark Trestman, the coordinator, what a gutsy call. You come out with a quick post and go. Felipe Sparks, you know he's quick. You know he wants to try and get involved. Now that's a perfectly thrown ball by Jake Plummer. He struggled with the deep ball all night, but not that one. There you go. This is what I'm all about. Vince Tobin wanted Jake Plummer to do a better job of being a field general, not just be a playmaker. Now he wants that playmaker.
David Boston over 100 yards for the 2nd straight week. Pittman to the 17-yard line. They need a touchdown.
I'll tell you, we're in the 2nd game of the season. They're in their division. People can't imagine how important it is to go 1-1. I mean, it's
0-2 is a killer.
Oh, it's a killer because you're in division. Dallas, if they go 0-2 into Washington on Monday night,
Pittman out.
That win. Now that's what a middle linebacker has to do. It's up to the guys up front to allow him to flow to the ball. Number 59, Gatwin, went off the field earlier with a knee injury, comes back now. There he is, right in front of Jake. Look at him flow. The big guys up front. Matt Joyce barely gets a hand on him. He comes in and makes the hit.
You got to love that kid. He plays so hard, earned the starting middle linebacker job this year. We have reached 2 minutes to go from Arizona. A 5-point game hangs in the balance.
I'm so in love with you. Whatever you want to do is all right with me.
The duty of a true race fan is to help his driver. He can't eat out there. Basically, I eat for him.
Oh, yeah!
Lap 73, my driver wants ribs. Lap 110, something lighter. Lap 162, time for Rolaids. Extra strength.
New extra strength Rolaids with even more acid neutralizing power to wipe out heartburn fast.
This is for us, man.
New extra strength Rolaids. R-O-L-A-I-D-S. Spells relief.
I can't believe we got the whole family together.
5 generations.
Can I get you anything, Grandma?
Yes, a Coke, please.
I don't think we have any.
What? I'm 101, and this will probably be the last time we get together. We're supposed to have Coca-Cola. You get away from me. Get away from me.
On game day, access NFL.com for up-to-the-minute stats and live radio coverage. NFL.com.
Dan Patrick and Rich Ianson standing by for SportsCenter. Coming up right after we're done here in the desert. May have a long way to go. 2 minutes. It's a 5-point lead. They'll bring you up to date on all the stories in sports. Huge play here. 3rd and 5 for the Arizona Cardinals at the Dallas 17-yard line. Obvious 2-down territory.
Yeah, and I think you got to look for Frank Sanders, number 81. He sort of replaced Rob Moore for Jake Plummer as the guy that really wants to get the ball to.
Fake the draw. Plummer on the run. Sanders, touchdown.
I thought maybe Frank Sanders might be a consideration. I mean, you know, Jake, it's funny. You start to see Jake start to develop habits in his career, although it's only been 4 years. When Rob Moore was a part of this offense before he got hurt against Minnesota in preseason, he was the guy that Jake would almost force the ball to. Now he feels, I think, that comfort zone with Frank Sanders.
They'll go for 2, trying to make it a 3-point margin. Pittman is the running back. Plummer in trouble. Got away. Incomplete. A flag is down. That'll be interference on George Teague.
You know who they're going to call that on? I think it's on Leon Lett. Leon Lett was in the end zone, and he grabbed the tight end.
Well, George Teague had a big chunk of somebody, too.
I couldn't believe that was Leon Lett sitting down in the end zone.
Darren Woodson can't believe it.
Holding, 28 defense. That penalty's declined. Pass interference in the end zone. 31 defense, half the distance to the goal.
So the call is on Teague, the free safety.
Number 31. What an unbelievable job by Jake just to get away from Hambrick's horse collar. And there's number 31, Teague holding on. Woodson hanging on to Gedney. Got every Cowboy defensive back hanging on to somebody in a white shirt.
And that's the first time in this second half that they've thrown a ball to a tight end.
Now the ball's at the 1.
I would be surprised they run this one in.
Jones didn't make it. So now a field goal could win it for the Dallas Cowboys.
Jake Plummer being Jake Plummer. This is the play he makes on the touchdown. Rolls out to the right. They bring Frank Sanders from the left side across the formation. Not only excellent execution, again, nice job by Mark Trestman, the offensive coordinator. He knows who Jake likes to get the football to.
Plummer took them 85 yards in 2:09 for the go-ahead score.
David Boston, they kept talking about him having to step up big now with no Rob Moore. He did that as well on that drive.
Jake Plummer,
I love you.
give me that.
I love you. I love you. Yes. That's not over yet, Jake.
That's going to be a souvenir. Cunningham may have something to say about this in the last minute 54. These games early in the year so critical for this Arizona franchise. There's a vote on a new stadium November 7th. It's pretty obvious to everybody. If they don't win early, they have no chance to win that vote.
And the advantage they may have is because of the heat out here. This is the last night game for them. They wind up playing Green Bay after the bye in 2 weeks, right in the middle of the afternoon. It was 106 this afternoon out here. Green Bay is another one that's got to fight for wins.
If they win this game, they could go on a run. Jason Tucker waits at his 5-yard line. Tucker to the 20, to the 25.
I think the thing that you have to be careful of if you're the Arizona Cardinal defense is letting Randall Cunningham get outside of contain, set up and throw the ball a long way down the field. I think you've got to keep him confined in the pocket. And for Randall, He can't try and force something to get outside.
He's hit 80% of his passes so far tonight.
And I think with the experience of Randall Cunningham and the people that he has, we've got 1 minute 47 seconds. He's got 2 timeouts. He's going to be very patient with this.
Out in the flat, Jackie Harris. Solid tackle by David Barrett. Clock running. Cowboys with 2 timeouts.
And that subtly is a very important play by David Barrett, keeping Jackie Harris inbounds, because the clock is important to Arizona.
Four-man rush. Wiley. And they will keep the clock winding because his forward progress was stopped inbounds. Pat Tillman with a solid tackle, and Dallas wants a timeout. Dave Campo desperately signaling to stop it with 1:03 to go.
I was talking about patience and throwing short passes. I didn't mean that short.
You weren't quite...
No, a little bit longer now, like 5 or 6 yards.
Well, I mean, you've got to give credit to Arizona defensively. They're not going to let them do it.
These beautiful overhead shots provided by the Southwest Airlines aerial cam. High above Sun Devil Stadium. More than 60,000 on hand to see the Cardinals take on the Cowboys. They always draw well for the Cowboys. Tim Cedar hoping for a chance to win this ball game. A guy who quit his job, been out of school since 1997 when he left Ashland University. Had a job as a phys ed instructor and a coach. Said this was his dream, though, to kick in the NFL, and he wanted to pursue it. He won the job in camp. And so far in the year 2000, he has been perfect on field goal attempts. 3rd and 5. Can Rice have an impact as a pass rusher? Cunningham in trouble. Incomplete, intended for Wiley. Fredrickson was there. Dave Campo asking no interference.
That was an outstanding job by the front 4 of the Arizona Cardinals. You just got to wonder, how tired is this offensive line of the Dallas Cowboys? They've been out on the field a long time. We've talked about the heat. That time the pressure on Randall came from just 4 guys.
Jerry Jones seeing his club facing a 4th and 5. He could be 1 play away from starting 0-2 in the division and going to Washington next week. Cunningham to keep it alive to Jackie Harris, the guy that Troy Aikman said we had to have.
50 seconds to go.
Dallas taking a lot of time.
Well, see, Randall's not used to doing this with this unit. He hasn't run much of this.
Harris, what a catch! The Arizona 43, and now they use a timeout to stop the clock with 31. What a catch by Jackie Harris.
Well, that's one of the things we talked about in the first half and towards the end of the game. The middle of the field is open if you're going to take a chance to go down it. The one thing about it is once you make the catch, you have to take a timeout. But take a look at this catch. Down the middle is Jackie Harris. But just look at the people that are around him. They are behind him. So you can get the ball to him.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you, Paulo.
Well, that's a great catch.
That's
no question
sensational.
about that.
I don't care where you were around him. It wouldn't have mattered much.
But I'm just saying they have no more timeouts. Right. There are 31 seconds in this game, so don't be afraid to go down the middle one more time. You'll have plenty of time to spike the ball.
They'll need about 15 yards to make it a fairly comfortable shot.
Jackie Harris tonight, 7 catches, 50 yards. That was for 21, and he was drilled by Justin Lucas just after he got his hands on the ball.
Well, here's the situation for Dave McGinnis, the defensive coordinator. You don't really have to worry too much about a run here unless it's going to be Randall Cunningham. Do you blitz him and take a chance on trying to sack him and keep the clock going?
The blitz comes. Cunningham hit as he throws, incomplete.
Oh, they brought everybody. They brought the safety, Pat Tillman.
And I think you do, because on the last play against the zone, as Paul mentioned, the middle was wide open. Number 40, right side of your screen, coming unblocked. This is not a very good job by the back or the left tackle, Flozell Adam.
Well, you know why? Because they saw Simeon Rice go in the middle of the field. So the back is sitting there waiting for him instead of looking back to the outside. Michael Wiley,
a rookie.
And Tillman, another hometown product out of Arizona State.
Look at the middle. We're in the middle.
Cunningham sprinting out, throws too high and too hard, incomplete. Corey Chavis with excellent coverage on the sideline. McGarity, the intended target.
One of the things that the Cowboys have to be conscious of, if they don't convert on this particular down, and they do on fourth, they're going to have to really hustle their special teams out to try and get the kickoff in time if they get the chance.
Well, I was talking 31 seconds. You had time to go to the middle and then get up and spike the ball. Now you've got 21 seconds.
Well, the blitz didn't allow it the first one, but this one, you're right, Paul.
They have timed this. It takes 12 and a half seconds to get up to the line of scrimmage. They don't have 12 and a half seconds.
No.
Cunningham buying time. Sideline incomplete. 14 seconds left. Arizona doing the smart thing. They are making sure they cover the outside.
Well, you know, that's one of the calls I don't agree with. They run Randall on what we call a dash. That's where he drops back and sprints out. Time is of the essence for the Cowboys. The best thing to do is try and work him out of the pocket and not waste the time him running around. You lost about 6 seconds just by Randall trying to get out. And Dave Campos, you know, they're really down to a bind now trying to get somebody on the field to kick it if they can.
Cedar was trying to get on the field, but it would be a 60-yarder into the wind. Now it's 4th and 10. They have to go for it. And they've got to get it to the sideline and out of bounds. Incomplete. And it's time for Vince Coburn and his Cardinals to celebrate. And for Dave Campo, the worst possible start. 0-2 in the NFC East.
0-2, and you get the Washington Redskins on Monday night coming off a loss in Washington. Certainly Randall Cunningham did everything he could to try and get a victory for the Cowboys.
They needed 10 more yards for Cedar to have a shot at a 50-yard field goal to win.
There's the defense. They do have somebody in the middle. Randall just sets and fires it. This ball just sails on him. Tries to get it to Michael Wiley.
There haven't been many reasons the last couple of years to celebrate in Arizona. They have one tonight.
I got to tell you, this is the finest football game I've seen Jake Plummer play in his entire career.
Agreed.
And I think the coaches all want this to be the beginning. Certainly Dave Campo didn't want to be a witness.
Final score, Arizona 32, Dallas 31. Coming up next, Sports Center, Dan Patrick and Rich Eisen. All the latest news, scores, and highlights. For Joe Theismann, Paul McGuire, Solomon Wilcox, and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Good night from Tempe, Arizona.
ESPN, thank you for watching this presentation of the National Football League.
Coming up on Sports Center, we review a day in sports so jam-packed that we need 90 minutes to do it. Pete Sampras finally met his match at the U.S. Open, while with America's and Britain's trophies already on his mantle, Tiger took dead aim at Canada's title. What else happened? Let's see. The Seahawks got rammed tough with St. Louis. The Colts got a jolt in Indy, while the Ravens and Jaguars got up front in AFC Central. What else happened? Well, Tom Glavine went for win number 20, while the Mets needed a win. Any win. And, oh yeah, Bob Knight got fired.
We have given Indiana University basketball coach Bob Knight one last chance, and he's failed to take full advantage
A shockingly sudden conclusion to one of the most illustrious runs in college basketball history. We will have all the reaction.
I think it's a complete joke.
And action from seasons past. So much to get to, so let's get right to SportsCenter now.
Welcome to this special 90-minute SportsCenter with Rich Eisen. I'm Dan Patrick.
On a day in which Pete Sampras went for the U.S. Open title, Tiger Woods the Canadian Open title, in which the NFL kicked off Week 2 and the baseball playoff races got tighter, for one piece of news to emerge as the no-brainer top story, it had to be big. This is big, Dan.
And it's final, Rich. Bob Knight did not get a chance to write the final line on his Indiana resume. It was written for him. It will read, fired. The Hall of Fame coach was let go Sunday, 17 weeks after being put on notice and 29 years after arriving in Bloomington. As Ed Warder reports, the disciplinarian has been disciplined.
The last thing Bob Knight abused on his way out of Indiana were the rules that school president Miles Brand imposed almost 4 months ago. Brand made the announcement Sunday, but placed responsibility for the decision squarely on Knight. The school had no alternatives, Brand said, because Knight routinely violated the strict code of personal conduct devised to control his behavior.
Let me give you some examples of Coach Knight's behavior in the last 17 weeks that is uncivil, defiant, and unacceptable. There have been several attempts to embarrass Indiana University. In private and public, Coach Knight has made angry and inflammatory remarks about the university officials and Board of Trustees. There has been an incident in the recent past in which Coach Knight verbally abused a high-ranking female university official in the presence of other persons. This angry outburst in his office was completely unnecessary and inappropriate. The problem is that we have a continued pattern of unacceptable behavior, similar to the pattern we had prior to May 15th, except it gotten worse.
Brand was making it clear his decision was not a knee-jerk reaction to accusations made last week by a freshman student who claimed Knight grabbed and berated him. While Knight has maintained his innocence, Brand said he's convinced Knight was guilty of wrongdoing in the incident, still under investigation.
We believe they have settled the factual aspects of the case. The coach reached out and initiated physical contact with the student on his arm, and the two had, according to varying accounts, an uncomfortable exchange. It is not in dispute that the coach reached out and grasped the young man's arm in an unwelcome fashion.
In their final conversation Sunday morning, which lasted 10 minutes, Brand said Knight expressed a desire to continue coaching in Indiana and offered no apologies.
The coach did say he felt he did not do anything wrong.
Brand says he has no regrets about the last chance he accorded Knight back in May. He says it was morally the right thing to do. His only regret is that Knight failed to uphold their agreement. According to Brand, Knight's final act of what the president called gross insubordination came when he refused to cancel a fishing trip on Saturday to Canada. In Indianapolis, I'm Ed Werder, ESPN.
Thank you, Ed. Late Sunday night, Bob Knight returned to Indiana from his fishing trip in Canada to meet with his now former team. Rich?
Well, as Dan intimated before, in the end, Bob Knight got no farewell tour, did not leave the floor for the final time after being honored for decades of service at Indiana. No, instead, the last public appearance of Bob Knight as Indiana basketball coach was drawing diagrams on a blackboard for the media, almost illustrating the logistics of his seemingly unnecessary encounter with a student who was 5 years from being born when Knight won his first title at Indiana. A shocking conclusion to his stellar Indiana career, one that sparked protests on the Indiana campus. That's, I guess, a form of protest that brought about police and riot gear. Hundreds marched on the home of University President Miles Brand, resulting in a handful of arrests. A banner hung from a campus balcony that read, quote, "Burn in hell, Brand." Elsewhere, one protester burned student Kent Harvey in effigy. Outrageous. Well, as for Knight's players, they were shocked as well.
Just the players kind of in disbelief. I think that a lot of us figured Coach Knight would be here for the duration of our careers, and I think that with him leaving before the season even started, it's kind of surprising for us.
We all had hoped that he would be able to live up to that policy, and yeah, I expected that he could. Is it tough to do that? Yes, but I expected that he would. I think Bob just didn't seize fully upon the opportunity that was given him.
All right, joining us now is Andy Katz. We'll give you a little pub here, the guy who broke the story early Sunday that the guy in the red sweater would be getting the pink slip. Talk us through, from the Thursday allegation all the way to Sunday's firing, Andy?
Well, what happened was actually Indiana President Miles Brand took the information from that Thursday incident, factored that into all the sorts of things that went on since May 15th when he issued the zero-tolerance policy. Things that kind of went on during the course of the summer was Bob Knight's defiance against the Indiana president and the Board of Trustees. They got back to them that there was bad-mouthing of them individually. Also incidents where he got into a confrontation with one of the female administrators over the $30,000 penalty that he had to pay. All of this information comes from one of the trustees. So Brand took this information, coupled with the Thursday incident, and then on Saturday, he made his decision to fire Bob Knight. He informed the Board of Trustees at the Indiana-NC State football game. Then it went on to Sunday morning where he spoke with Bob Knight, asked Bob Knight for a resignation. Bob Knight said he didn't do anything wrong, and that's when Miles Brand fired Bob Knight. And that's why it couldn't wait till later in the week, because actually the trustees said they were going to fire Bob Knight, or at least recommend to do that, later in the week at their scheduled meeting.
Now, I think it's a little skeptic here. It's sort of strange credulity at this point for an organization, a university that had a lot of tolerance for nearly 3 decades, that they would pull the trigger on Bob Knight through things that weren't very well publicized, things that went on beyond the scenes. But you're saying that the trustees would have done that even if this Thursday incident didn't come out.
Well, they had a lot of tolerance for 4 months, actually, and that's where it just kept building and building. Miles Brand said that it was zero tolerance, but they let a lot of things go on throughout the course of the summer. But one of the trustees told me that they just had had enough. Once this incident happened in the public domain, happening actually at Assembly Hall, that was enough to push down this incident, to actually speed up the process, not even go to this meeting later in the week, and that's why Miles Brand decided to fire him on Sunday.
All right, Andy, thanks very much. Stay right where you are. We're going to rejoin you on this program later in the show about the future of the Indiana basketball program. Back to you, Dan.
All right, Rich. Thank you, Andy. It's our question of the night. Should Bob Knight have been fired? We'll bring you the results of this a little bit later on in Sports Center. Dick Vitale joins us from his home in Florida to offer up his take on the IU decision. And, Dick, let me start with the poll question. Do you think Bob Knight should have been fired?
Well, I'll tell you, Dan, when you look at all the so-called alleged incidents that took place, according to Dr. Brand in the summer, and I wasn't aware of many of those, I don't think he had any other choice. He was not participating in a very agreeable way in terms of working with the athletic director, working with the people within the university. You know and I know, wherever you work, you got to work and get along, especially with your superiors. And obviously, he didn't want to follow that pattern.
Bob Knight's going to turn 60 coming up in October. Will another school contact Bob Knight, and would he be interested in coaching again?
I think he really loves the gym. I think the one thing he made very clear to me on the phone when I spoke to him last, several months ago, how much he loves the arena. I mean, I really feel so sad about today because I respect so much of the positives of Bob Knight, the discipline, the fact that 35 years of coaching and he didn't have any NCAA investigation, graduating players. But the bottom line is he just had that explosive temper. I think somebody will take a shot. Somebody will give him an opportunity. I think he will want that opportunity, and he will get it somewhere across America, but not at one of the highly visible, major, big-time programs.
All right, Dick, stay with us. We'll come back a little bit later on during this 90-minute Sports Center and talk about Bob Knight's legacy and where Bob Knight ranks on the all-time list of great coaches.
Lost amidst all the night madness in Indianapolis. The Colts played their first home game since their playoff loss to Tennessee last January. One of only 2 blemishes on their highly successful home record last year. 1 week after spoiling the Chiefs' home opener, the Colts could not wait to open their home schedule against the Raiders. Said Edgerrin James, "This is something we've been waiting for a long time. Usually good things happen to those who wait. To the Dome we go." Good things happen to Peyton Manning and the Colts early on, already up 14-0. Manning finds the aforementioned James over the middle, 10-yard touchdown. Edgerrin also had 91 yards rushing. Colts up 21-0 on their first 3 possessions. But the third quarter, Raiders roaring back on the legs of Rich Gannon. 3rd rushing touchdown of the day. We're tied at 24. Later in the third, Tyrone Wheatley busts through the middle for 6 yards. Wheatley scored twice. A 24-point third quarter puts the Raiders on top, 31-24. It's 38-31. Raiders. 3 minutes left. Manning rallying the Colts. Finds Marvin Harrison, 18 yards. Harrison, 10 catches, 141 yards. 4th and 25, though. Clock winding down. Last chance. Desperation for the Colts. Manning loads of time, unloads, and he's picked off by Torrey James. James' second pick of the day. And Manning and the Colts fall short. In the deafening din of the RCA Dome, the Raiders come off the mat from a 21-0 deficit with that fat third quarter. The defense also shut down Manning, who threw for only 129 of his 367 yards in the second half. Thanks to the legs of Wheatley and Gannon, the Raiders are 2-0 and early leaders of the AFC West.
I don't think anybody gave the Raiders very much of a chance in some ways. At least that was the theme that we had coming to Indiana. We knew we were playing a team that was a defending Eastern champion at home, and we knew we had our hands full. But as we told our team, you know, you got to sometimes go a long ways to earn your respect. And I think today's a start. We got a long way to go. We got a lot of football yet to play. We have plenty of error to clean up. But when you talk about a team that doesn't quit, that plays for 60 minutes and has some big play people, you got a chance to win.
From 1970 through 1999, only 4 quarterbacks rushed for 3 touchdowns in a game, none of them named Young or Cunningham. And now, in just the span of 2 weeks, we've seen it twice. Rich Gannon and Dante Culpepper. Jake Plummer turned the trick just 2 years ago.
2 Baltimore for the Ravens and Jaguars. First quarter, 10-0 Jags. Looking for more. Mark Brunell looking for Jimmy Smith, who could be the best receiver in the game. 17-0 Jaguars. Fourth quarter, 26-22 Jacksonville. 2nd and 10, the Ravens. Tony Banks